Hello everyone, it's Kirsten. Today I'm gonna be doing a get ready with me because I'm gonna go out with my friends in a few, but I also wanted to talk or give a little background to the term cisgender because I did a deep dive, I got really interested in it, and I just went down a really deep hole. And I want to share it with you, and I think it'll be a very good educational moment. So let's just get started, shall we? Makeup look I'm doing is just, I think I'm gonna try a reverse cat eye. Wish me luck. I've already did my skincare. I think I'm just gonna throw on a bunch of products and we'll see how it works. Let's first of all break down these prefixes and the root word, blah, blah, blah. So if you know, cause I forgot, an affix is a word element that is added to another to kind of create a new definition. So a prefix is added in the beginning. For example, disconnect. Dis being the prefix, connect being the root word, disconnect. So the first time prefix was recorded as a verb was around 1400s, and it was then finally recorded as a verb in the 1650s, 1640s. So if you're not aware, the term or the prefix cis means on the same side of, and trans means on the opposite side of. So you put those terms in front of other root words and it's going to mean on the same side of, for example, gender. So outside of gender, these prefixes cis and trans have a really deep, rich history in the sciences. The very first time I heard of or was explained what cis and trans meant was in my organic chemistry class, like last semester. For example, things like cis and trans isomers. They're also used in genetics and geography. How on earth did these prefixes get incorporated into topics regarding sex and gender? So the first recorded usage of the term cisgender was by a German physician, and his name was, bear with me, Ernst Bouchard. But I'm gonna say his name in the most English way possible so you guys can understand me. So Bouchard, he was a physician, a sexologist, and a gay rights activist. And I wanna give you guys a little background about him because I feel like he's really important. So Bouchard was born September 9th in 1876. He was born in a town that used to be called Hellsberg, which it's now called Lisbark, and it's in like the northern part of Poland. There's not much about his childhood that I was able to find, but he, in like the 1900s, moved to Germany to pursue medicine, and he earned his doctoral degree during this time. Keep in mind, he earned his doctoral degree at the age of 27. You go, girl. So after his studies, he moved to Berlin to practice medicine. And here he met a doctor named Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld. Now he's very important as well. So these two doctors dedicated a lot of their lives to research and advocacy for gay men. So now I want to tell you a little about Dr. Hirschfeld. So Hirschfeld was also a German physician and sexologist, and he's very important because in May of 1867, he founded a committee called the Scientific Humanitarian Committee. Now this would come to be like known as the very first LGBTQ rights organization in history, an organization that Bouchard would later join. Now, the purpose of this organization was not just to defend the rights of gay men, but also to get rid of paragraph 175. So paragraph 175 was a provision in the German criminal code which made it illegal for gay men to be intimate. This code lasted from like 1871 and wouldn't be repealed until 1994. And during this time span, over 140,000 gay men were convicted of crimes just for literally being themselves. So Hirschfeld, when the committee was under his leadership, they had a petition to get rid of 175, and it garnered over 5,000 signatures, a lot of which being like from prominent German figures, Albert Einstein, ally. So in 1898, this petition would be brought to the attention or presented to the German Empire. Sadly, though, only a minority of the Social Democratic Party of Germany would actually be in support of this petition. Because of this, for a while, it didn't really go anywhere, and Hirschfeld he was so frustrated that he thought about outing a lot of prominent lawmakers during the time. And if you're not aware what outing means, to out somebody is to disclose their sexual or gender identity without their consent, which can be very, very dangerous, especially for like minors who might be in a family who's not so accepting. Outing is typically done for like political reasons or blackmail to get people to do what they want. And it's not really clear if Hirschfeld went through with this, but it was mentioned that he thought about it. Eventually, though, the bill started to make progress throughout the 1920s, but sadly, when the Nazi Party took over Germany, all types of progress was just kind of thrown down the drain. But this didn't stop, Burchard and Hirschfeld. They would continue to write about, advocating for the LGBTQ community up until they died. So one of Burchard's more notable works, he wrote a journal in 1914, and bear with me here, it's titled Lexikon des gesamten Sexuallebens, which roughly translates in English to Lexicon of the Entire Sex Life. So this journal of his was like the very first recorded usage of the term cisgender. Cisvesismus in German. Now I'm going to read Burchard's definition here. He used this word to refer to those who had the inclination to put on the clothing of other ages, classes, or professions, and the same gender for the purpose of sexual recreation. In English, we've simplified this as people who identify with which the gender they were assigned at birth. Now, we didn't see this term being used again until like 1991. And this was being used by another German sexologist. His name is Vlakmar Segush. Now, he used the term cis-sexual, using it in the same way that Burchard used cisvestismus. I told you I don't speak German. Don't make fun of me. Now again, in 1994, in a post written by Donna Leland DeFos, the term cisgender was used, but it was for the first time used in English, and for the first time with gender being the root word. Now it's unclear if these authors use the terms kind of independently of each other or were coining them by reading each other's work. Believe it or not, though, it wasn't until 2015 that the term cisgender was finally added to the Oxford English Dictionary. The term is now defined as an adjective that describes a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds to his or her sex at birth. Now, if y'all know me, you know that my presence is mainly on TikTok, where I talk a lot about things like this. And it has since come to my attention that a lot of people don't understand what these terms are, and they think that the LGBTQ community just kind of came out of thin air with these terms, which, as you're now aware, because I just told you, are not new at all. More specifically, I've been seeing a lot of transphobic women say that cis, the prefix cis, is a slur and an offensive term. No, ma'am. And keep in mind, these same women say, oh, don't refer to me as cis or cisgender. I'm just a woman. Just call me a woman. And in the same sentence will literally refer to trans people as trans. Now, terms like cisgender are considered to be inclusive language. It's literally like an antonym of cisgender. Or transgender, excuse me. I like using the word cisgendered personally because it avoids referring to cisgendered people as normal or the right way, which would position trans people as abnormal or irregular, which is often used it's used in a negative context for being fucking for real. Okay, I think I need to concentrate on this eye look, and I will be right back. Language is how we primarily communicate with each other. It's how we build relationships. And when we use inclusive language, we're promoting diversity. It promotes respect. It allows everyone to feel like they're included in something. It also supports a positive tone. And honestly, I think it's such a beautiful thing. Now, I feel like the reason a lot of people have adverse reactions to this is because change is relatively scary. But change is also a good thing, especially when it's a good kind of change. You've probably heard this before, but be the change you want to see, not the bad kind of change. I'm gonna finish the rest of this with like blush highlighter and my lip liner. We'll see how the look comes together. Ugh. Here's the final look. I look like, I don't know, very baby dollish, but that's all right. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this to be informative. I'm gonna link down in the description all of my sources, so if you wanna go watch yourself, you can do that, or read yourself, you can do that. All right, guys, I hope today, whenever you're watching this, I hope the rest of your day is as wonderful as you are.